Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Today I'm joined by Triple J and Lee. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
man.
perfect. So I just wanted to ask, who's Triple J and who's Lee? Jay, you can go first.
Okay, cool, man. So basically, we are two traders from South Africa, and we trade full time, off base now. For me, it's been about a year and a half where I've been trading full time now. But that's basically what we do. We trade. So over to you, bro.
Well, you pretty much sums it. So obviously, I've been trading a bit longer, and for me, meeting Jay was just something that I really appreciate, and being able to guide him a little bit more towards the right direction has been a privilege for me. And obviously now we're business partners and everything just, I believe, is going to go so smooth.
Yeah. And how did you get into Forex?
So my story is quite interesting because I was the dude growing up, always thinking that I was going to be a sports person, right? But I got introduced to trading through a mutual friend of mine when I was playing rugby in Durban. You know how they describe the journey, right?
Yeah.
So from there, I was, you can call it quote unquote trading, but I was learning, you know what I mean? I was going through the valley, the peaks, everything. And then basically, I went dry. I felt so much pain, man. I felt so much frustration. I felt so much, all of these emotions, they were like just building up inside of me. And I really wanted to find out what the truth is, right? And to me, it's really about seeking purpose through everything that we do. And trading has really allowed me to tap more into that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about to me, man.
Yeah. And how did you get into Forex, Lee?
For me, I will admit that I was a victim to some of the lower scams in SA. So further down the line, because I've given so much to commit to this job, I really wanted to give it my all. And at that moment, you need to realize that trading is not a hobby. You either commit full time, give it your all, learn from it, and then try to make something more than just what you were taught in the beginning.
Yeah. No, that's great. And how have the markets been treating you guys so far this year, like in the first half of 2021?
My own trading experience has been phenomenal. To me, it's been interesting to now be in a full cycle, right? I, as a person and in my own process, I've never been happier, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, Lee, how have the markets been treating you so far this
Markets
year?
has been good.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's still recovering from COVID from last year.
Okay.
I absolutely did not like all the gaps that they keep giving us.
Yeah.
But this year, I think, it's been a really good learning curve when, things are starting to balance back to where they were. And it's been good.
Okay. Yeah, a question directed at you, Jay. So what is like the importance of mentorship?
Here's the thing. Whenever you hear someone come up to you and say, nah, I learned myself, I'm self-taught. It's the biggest lie anyone can ever tell you. Here's why, in my opinion. Like, mentorship is vital, okay? Because if you enter into any space or any field where you are new, there are things you don't know. There are things you need to learn. When you can get a person to educate you, help you, guide you, and help you not make the mistakes that person made, it can make your process so much smoother. Trading is really a rigid process. It's supposed to be boring, because looking at a bunch of candlesticks or open high close bars, like you're just looking at them, you know what I mean? You're just sitting there. But if you understand everything that flows with it and someone can guide you to help you understand what it is that you are looking at, I mean, everything, it makes the whole, it changes the game.
Okay, no, that's great. Director you, Lee, right now, let's talk about probably one of the biggest killers of many Forex traders or people who want to be Forex traders, greed. Why do you think that so many people become so greedy when it comes to the markets?
Obviously it's unfortunately, it's the lifestyle that has been portrayed for Forex. If you go out there and you tell them, listen, I'm a Forex trader, then they'll be like, cool, do you drive a nice car? What are you wearing? Then they expect you to make money. In your head, psychologically, you always want to risk more. $500, I want to take it to 5,000. Instead, as the truth is, the more money you have, the less you trade, the less percentage of your risk and the more selective you are.
Yeah.
So greed will always kill you because you want to get rich quick.
Yeah.
You need to realize that you need to treat Forex, your account, like a business, and it will grow with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do need confidence to trade in the markets, obviously. But when does confidence become greed, though?
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Yes. So to your question, it would be, we have days where we have winning streaks. Maybe let's say 8 in a row, 12 in a row. Then you become confident in your method, your analysis. Then you shouldn't forget the fact that you don't own the market. It will prove you wrong. And there are days where you would come up, you look at the charts, and then if there is nothing that matches your set, don't force the trade. You made your money last week, go have a little vacation, wait for your set. Don't force it. I know you're good, your strategy works, but you don't own the market.
Different types of traders have different needs. Choosing the right trading style is essential for each individual trader. However, choosing the most optimized account type is just as important. The range of account choices at Exness is to meet the various trading styles of different traders. The standard account is the most straightforward commission-free account type that has market execution and suits most general trading styles. The Pro account provides commission-free trading with the most competitive spreads and instant execution that is preferable to minimize potential slippages for the more demanding professional trader. Our Raw Spread account offers the lowest spread with a fixed commission as compared to ECN competitors. The Zero account has a stable spread predominantly of 0.0 with a range of instrument-based commissions, giving more predictability with no spread trading for most of the day. All our account types have the same approach of competitive pricing and best execution. Exness does not limit these account types, and its customers may use any of them to see what works best for their styles.
Jay, what's the one piece of trading psychology advice that you wish somebody would have shared with you when you started?
Not wanting to make money, like straight off of when you start your journey. As soon as you understand that there is a certain amount of time that you will have to invest, okay, into this field where you won't be having monetary gain. Like, that's the biggest thing, because people want to do things too fast, too quickly. They chase that instant gratification. They want to show their friends. They want to start a business, you know what I mean? Like, real quick. And they want to make it, you know, and me personally, it would be the fact that I just think that it's not really portrayed how long you should be patient without making money. I think it's about you should be 6 months to a year where you should, you should have an excess amount of capital set aside. And you need to be prepared.
Lee, now when it comes to the psychology side of things, when it comes to a person who's on a losing streak, because a lot of people find themselves in losing streaks, and then eventually it just completely runs them out of the game. How does one manage a losing streak?
Well, it's very common of people where, let's say if you lose 5 in a row, you would lose once, you're 1% risk, you lose twice, then for the third time, you should actually really just step back and see what you did wrong. Why am I being proved wrong? Again, you don't own the market. But if you keep on coming to revenge trade, on your third and fourth trade, you will want to risk 3% to gain back the extra 2% that you lost. Then you're just, you're digging yourself a bigger hole, a bigger hole, and bigger hole. Sometimes, you need to set yourself a percentage you are willing to lose for the day. Let's say if you look at 2 pairs, they both don't play out, you know what? It's just not my day. Step back, go clear your head, stabilize, don't act on your emotions, because the market is there to play with your emotions.
Yeah.
And if you're going there with anger, revenge trading, it will devour you.
Yeah.
So step back, come back with a clear head, let's try to start over. Because the market's still going to be there, but you need to have a clear head.
So when it comes to the markets, how do you approach the markets? The moment you open a chart, what is your approach to the markets? What are you looking for?
So basically, I'm gonna say quote unquote everything because it's about intermarket analysis. It's about knowing what cross pairs, like why they move, and like in understanding this process. Because I primarily trade EU, so basically euro dollar, and GBP USD. Those are the two primarily pairs if I trade Forex that I'll trade. So basically focusing on the dollar, that's very important in my process. Knowing where the dollar, like if it's seeking yield, knowing what the interest rates are doing, and with all of this, you have your process of like top-down analysis. You know what I mean? Where you go through like your daily, your monthly, your weekly time frames, and we'll drop down lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where the fun starts. But that's really my process because it's every day. Because if you're not plugged in to the economic events, if you're not plugged into those drivers, you will get caught napping.
Yeah. Lee, Jay said that you guys have two different approaches. So what's your approach?
All right, so like he said, between us, we have two different approaches. But at the end of the day, we complement each other. Jay could see something I don't see, and I see something that he doesn't see. But at the end of the day, the direction for that pair would be the same.
Yeah, on directional bias.
Exactly. Same with fractional disparity and all the cross pairs. So with my approach is, just as how Jay said, mentorship is very important. I personally like to do work on the weekend, Saturday night, to set my goals what I expect on the market for the next week. This is where it is important to have a mentor, because if you're not at the level where you're confident, you need someone else's opinion. Mostly on weekends, we have a chat, we share the analysis.
Yeah.
That's everything just flows smoothly.
It's like having a mirror for reflection, right?
Yeah.
Because people don't this is extremely important, is to have a like I mentioned with the feedback process, is that piece of reflection that you'll have over the weekend, just to look at your trades that you took.
Yeah.
Why you took them, how you felt, and what led to your decisions in taking these trades, whether it was a good week, whether it was a bad week. That process needs to stay rigid. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. Coming to my favorite parts of this interview, I want to ask first, both of you, your biggest loss. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest monetary loss, but it needs to be that trade where you felt like you really lost there.
Yeah. So, I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
So basically, my biggest loss is, I'll refer to it as what would be known as a losing streak. Okay. So it was a week where in my own personal life there was some stuff happening, and I still felt the need to kind of force myself to sit in front of the markets, right? And that was the silliest thing to do, man, because my head wasn't clear, like my decision-making process was all weird and sticky, and I wasn't flowing, like I wasn't in the flow state, and that led me to losing one trade and coming back the next session, because we followed our rules and stuff. So we come back the next session doing the same thing and losing another trade. And then for that whole, I'd never, until like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't have one winner, right? And whether these trades were high probability or not, I couldn't tell you, because my process were it was everywhere. What I'm trying to say is I could only recover from that after clearing the emotional mess in my mind. And that's been a big lesson to me as well.
And what's the biggest lesson you took from that experience?
Is one, not every day is a trading day. Two, if there is something that happens in your life that throws your decision making off, and you are emotional, you need to allow that emotion to sift through. There are opportunities. That doesn't mean I need to trade every single day.
Yeah. Lee, on your side?
For me, it was actually very recent. It was in the beginning of COVID. It's just actually been a really long roller coaster. My biggest loss was during that period of time. So again, it comes to when I was too overconfident with my 2 weeks winning streak. Then I found that, when you're too overconfident, I gave all the money back, multi 6 figures. And then coming along to follow with revenge trading.
Yeah.
I'm missing out. I'm chasing the trade. So that is something I wish I had never done.
Yeah. And
I'll
what's the
never
biggest
forget.
lesson you took from that?
Don't chase it. If you lose, don't put back.
Yeah.
Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, it's
no.
like sifting that out
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
system.
yeah.
So I was not in my head.
Yeah, no, that's great. And what's your most memorable trade?
So I basically trade the weekly range, right?
Okay.
So that's what I would say I enjoy trading the most. But this was mid-COVID. I can't really remember what exact day it was, but I can remember the process of me entering a Euro USD trade, and I held like it was kind of like in that situation where I was like, I'm holding this thing, you know what I mean? I'm holding this thing.
Yeah.
Up or down, we holding this thing. And I held a trade for 2.5 months. So it was, yeah.
It was a good time to hold.
Yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
that was my most like, if you could call it a quote unquote memorable trade.
Yeah.
Like that really stands out for me.
Okay, now that's good. Lee, on your side?
For me, most memorable, yet also, I felt like my heart was going to beat out, is when I held a NASDAQ trade over the weekend. And falling into with the swaps and the gaps and the overnight swing spreads.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice to always wake up and you're just blue.
Every single
Wake up to a blue screen. That was my
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. So, coming to the end of the interview, what advice do you guys have for our audience?
So I think my biggest gift to the audience is to firstly, if you're interested in trading, right, then dip your feet into the water. Like, go do your research, find someone that's trustworthy, and just start. But you have to realize that it is a process. You have to realize that there's a big time element attached to understanding your craft. If you are focusing on sharpening your sword every single day in your craft, the sharper it gets, the sharper you stay, and the better decisions you can make. So it's really be patient with your process and seek the truth, man. Seek the truth. Yeah.
And Lee, on your side?
Well, Jace pretty much sums up, the basics. For me, like he said, I personally don't think trading is a hobby. It is a commitment you need to make. And the real learning curve would be, once you actually start losing money, you are forced to learn from your mistakes because you don't want to lose more money.
Yeah, the pain teaches you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pain will teach you.
Yeah.
So just be patient, find a good mentor. Again, rather just don't fall for what you see.
Yeah.
Do the research, get the information, see reviews.
Yeah.
If it works for you, then commit to it.
Okay, now perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Market Masters and for sharing your stories with us and all that. I really do appreciate that. And thank you to Exness for sponsoring the show and making it possible. And thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for
your
having us.
time. Yeah.
Thank you, Exness.
And thank you,
Appreciate it.
Xness, for setting this up.
been a good experience.
We really love this opportunity.